It's now time for the final match in the first round of the Ultimate Singles Schmoedown Tournament. We have sassy Stacy Howard against somebody. Not really sure. Let me look. Oh, it's this guy. It's the dangerous guy. Angry guy is a dangerous guy. Dan Murrell himself. Stacy Howard, Dan Murrell. Let's find out who wins now on JTH Reacts to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Out of time, so say goodbye. What is yours now is mine, and I dream broken dreams. I'll make them come true. I'll make them for you.
And welcome back. Okay, so obviously I guess I don't really need to say who I think is going to win. So Dan Murrell and Stacy Howard. The last time these two players faced off was at the Schmoedown Live event, which I attended back there. Still got the poster. If I can point in the right direction, still got the poster back there. So seeing that match live, I noticed a couple things when that match happened. One of the main reasons was you can make a case that Stacy Howard had actually outplayed everybody in that match, including Roca and Murrell themselves. Stacy Howard really carried Wait, I Know This, the team that she and Winston Marshall were a part of, pretty much during the duration of that match. Dan Murrell, for his first match back after losing at the Collision to Andrew Guy, seemed a little rusty in parts. He and John were able to get through the movie release dates category pretty well, which, speaking of movie release dates, that match is now available on Patreon. You can check it out whenever you want with Levine, Bateman, Mance, and Halavic. Very great match. But yes, going back to movie release dates, they seemed a little uncertain at times, even though they did end up getting all the questions correctly. It seemed like Dan didn't have the total macho machismo of yes, I absolutely know this that he had in the past. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he fares in this, being his first singles match since the Andrew Guy disappointment debacle. Stacy Howard, as I've always said, is kind of a wild card when it comes to the singles division. She just has so many categories of strength that are weaknesses to everybody else in the league, mainly romance, which tripped up Dan in his match with Andrew Guy, which is the reason why I'm very, very cautious about this match. Obviously, hoping that Dan can pull this out, but her strengths, I think, really mar with Dan's weaknesses. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this match turns out. But I think the time for talking is over. Let me get my headphones on because I want to make sure that it's nice and quiet in case I, fangirl, fanboy, whatever you wish to call it, for a Dan Murrell victory. So without further ado, let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. Who's
Hello?
that knocking on my front door? That Williams edition. Hello,
hey,
Brienne.
Brienne! So glad you're here. I don't know if you've heard, but
I've heard.
Me and Christian, right?
Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting closer.
What do you mean we're getting closer?
Well, it doesn't. It needs Tom. It quite frankly needs Tom.
You really want Tom to be that close to being the commissioner?
I don't actually like Tom, nor do I really want him to be the commissioner. But this isn't about me. It's about the contract. It's about the patrons that wanted it. It's about your league. I have all these signatures. These people are not going to show up at Spectacular.
You're gonna sabotage Spectacular over this?
It's not a sabotage. It's a union.
It's not.
Get on board. League Players Association.
I don't think a union wants Tom Dagnino as the commissioner.
Is happening.
Okay. So me and Tom and Christian.
And someone else. I don't care. Make it a 4-way. You can do whatever you want. But it's got to be Tom, and I got to be on the desk, and then I think we'll have it. I think we'll be good.
All right. So you're gonna you're gonna be on the desk. Okay.
We're gonna be
all
good.
Right. Great.
I don't think a union would agree with
Also,
Tom Dagnino in a commissioner's
I saw
match.
Tom in the supply closet, and I think he probably stole thousands of dollars worth of merchandise.
So here's my opinion about this Commissioner Bowl match, and it's not, positive or negatively. It's just based on my take on what they should do. In my opinion, based on everything that's in stake with this match and how much this storyline has built up, personally, I think the Commissioner Bowl should main event the Spectacular. To me, it has the most stakes for the Schmoedown going forward. With all, no disrespect to Roca and the singles title match, but that's something that has just short-term, storyline reasons. The Commissioner Bowl will last throughout the duration of the next season and has been a focus point of all of this season. So, to me,
than just a costume.
your biggest storyline should main event the biggest show of the year. That's just my opinion. It probably won't happen, but it's just
Stacy Howard.
my take. I'll probably ask that on the Facebook page at some point.
Mark and Draco.
Finally.
Yes. Yes. And not that. Janine, you are also going to be at the Collider Collision.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about.
Facing
what?
Mark and Draco. And Stacy Howard. It's a triple threat match.
Stacy Howard is the higher ranked player. She is 4-1. She has 1 knockout. And the winner of this match
Wearing the creamsicle hair.
Irwin.
Collateral beauty.
That is.
And with that, Stacy Howard has been eliminated.
I was very shocked by that result.
Tournament 2018. The theme is
Anarchy.
Winston Marshall, sassy Stacy Howard.
Hey, I'm
Murrell
about
and
to
John
relive
Roca
this.
Are facing Stacy Howard and Winston Marshall.
That's not the live event I was at. You tricked me.
Decided to call ourselves the
Oh,
Fountain
that's the one I was at.
because we helped build the legacy.
Wasn't it that one?
Horseman!
There it is.
Guy is by himself.
The soundbite. The soundbite.
Child 44.
And your winner by way
I think Stacy Howard is one of the most underrated competitors that we have in this league. Known to upset people in the first round.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes, sir.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Jeff Bridges.
That's John Lithgow.
Sean Lithgow.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Jeopardy. Bradford. Emma Thompson.
2005, 1987, 2009.
Oh, that was the 3-minute baby question that I submitted.
1997, 2010.
correct for 2 points.
Boom,
He
boom,
made
boom, boom,
soap
boom, boom.
For like cosmetic countertops.
You can stop there with soap.
Ian McKellen and Orlando Bloom.
And your winner!
That's about what I said in the seats.
Technical knockout! The outlaw John Roca! Dangerous Dan Murrell! The founding...
What I know is John and I are, we prepared for this match.
you might be able to see me.
Preparing, and we plan to go out, walk out, play every game, and when the game's over, we're going to have the most points on the board, and that's all we care about. I didn't get it written down in time. I know that it's David O. Russell. I did not get it written down in time. I wrote down Spike Jones. David O. Russell, I tried to write down there. I leave it to your judgment. But, okay.
Corruption has advanced to the next round. Mike Kalinowski, Chance Ellison will
And
play
John
against
Roca disappeared.
Mark Riley and
Pull it, Thanos. Rivalry Rig Nights. Rivalry, that's a little debatable. I mean, they only had one match. If they want to say it's a rivalry, then that's fine. They would know better than me. Whoosh. It's him! Murrell. N-M-O.
to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. It's the
Hello,
ultimate
Mark.
Schmoedown, and
Hello,
what a
Christian.
tournament
The
it has
gang's
been so
all
far.
here.
Round 1 has been electric, and this is the last match of the first round, and what a match we have here. Mark Ellis.
Christian Harlock, as my old gym teacher used to say, hey, Ellis, why are you wearing an eye patch? I was a loser back then, and I was a loser to both of these competitors. Stacy
Eye
Howard,
patch?
Dan Murrell, who's
That's,
going to take it today? They both beat the
random.
crap out of me.
That's right. You have played both of them, and it has been an interesting year for both of these competitors. This is
Hey, Ellis, why are you
a
wearing this
first-round
skunk
matchup.
butt rug?
Stacy Howard did play you
That's
in round
that's
one
more
last year. She
random.
pulled up a big upset, and she wound up going to round number 2.
Memory.
To Rachel Cushing. But Dan Murrell has never played in a singles tournament before.
Is that true?
It is true because
How
after
about
the first
that?
tournament that you won, he was already the champion. So he was waiting to see who was going
I
to
was
win.
waiting
By the
for that
time
plug.
last year's tournament rolled around, he had already retired. So Dan Murrell has not played in a singles tournament before. This is big for him because Dan had a rough start. He lost the match at the Collider Collision to Andrew Guy. Then then he had the team match with Roca. And they won that match.
Yay,
but then they had that close loss to Corruption in the tournament. So he's coming off a loss here, but
That was
he
weird.
is determined. He wants
At the
to play for
Schmoedown Live
belt.
event, I don't know if I
And
ever brought
he
this
did
up.
so,
I was
he
actually
playing
sitting next
against
to
his
Cody
fellow
Decker.
Horseman, John Roca.
Yeah, I mean,
Who
hearing
many
Dan
people
Murrell
probably
has
would know
never
is
competed
the
in a
husband of
tournament
Jen Sturgeon.
format like this.
Well, the singles tournament.
In
That
a
was,
singles tournament,
we had some
it's
fun
a shock
conversations
to my eardrums,
during
but
that
something
show.
that is not going to be a shock is if Stacy Howard pulls off this upset, because Stacy has proven she can play with the best of them. Doesn't matter what vegetable
Yes,
nickname
that's
they
what I'm
go by.
afraid of.
Stacy is not intimidated, and when you look at Dan Murrell, he's had a year that I think, to say the very least, has been surprising to both you and me.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's only played a couple times, and he's been out for the first half. He came back, and now I think he's starting to get his feet wet
Starting to feel it again, you
He's
think?
starting to feel it again, but the reason why, in talking to him, is that exactly what you just said about Stacy Howard. You can't take her lightly. Dan certainly does not do that. He watched the way that she played at the live event. Dan is not taking her lightly, and Dan is going into this match preparing like he does for all his matches. So we know that Dan Murrell's a two-time champion and he's the favorite, but Stacy Howard has won a lot of favor with the fans, a lot of favor with the competitors. She's a solid competitor, and this could be something very special.
And they're both pretty solid on the mic. We're going to hear from both competitors right now.
The anarchy is over and the squad is back together. I missed you.
I missed you, baby.
And you know what? I am so happy and proud of you, what you did single-handedly at the live event.
You know what? I've never played in a Schmoedown singles tournament before. I'm used to being the guy waiting for the person that's going to come out of the tournament. So this is a new experience for me, but the result's going to be the same. I'm going to be playing for that. And if I have to go through this guy, I love this guy. He's my teammate. He's a fellow horseman. But if I can get to the end of this tournament, all bets are off.
Now we're at the point where you have to shut down Dangerous Dan Murrell again. The lead horse in the Horsemen. He was almost put down once by Andrew Guy. He can be put down and put out to pasture this time. And then after that, it's only, what, 2 more wins for you to take off that stupid-ass hat on that outlaw.
Today I am facing off against Stacy Howard. I have never played her in a singles match before. We saw what happened to me the last time I played a singles match against someone I never played before. I think it was a surprise to a lot of people. Win or lose today, one thing's for sure, Stacy's not going to catch me by surprise. I shared a table with her at the team match. I know what she's capable of. All I got to do today is go out there and do what I'm capable of.
Let me set the scene, okay? Let me tell you guys a little story about a while back, okay? It was the first round. You know, everyone counted me out. Everyone's like, oh, so-and-so has won it all before. He's going to do it again. Ow. I chewed up that baby carrot, okay? And now, here we are in the same situation with Dan Murrell, and he's about to go down.
Random.
Chew up on a horse, though?
Yeah. I'll chew up a horse. I don't give a fuck.
Let's get right down to business here. I had a rough start to the beginning of the season. I took a loss in singles. Roca and I took a close loss in teams. We're coming to the end of this year. My comeback depends on this tournament, and I don't want this year to end in another loss. I want to make a run at this thing. I don't want to be watching the spectacular. I want to be playing in the spectacular. I want to be playing for that belt. And if that means that I have to go through some great people to get there, then that's what I'm going to do. This isn't just a game. This is the season for me, and I don't intend for it to end today.
You all gonna get got. And don't worry.
Jay
Hopefully,
Washington
no
and Stacey
B
Howard
puns.
excited to see one another again, and now
I
that
love
Ethan
Wreck-It Ralph,
Irwin
too.
has advanced, Jay's
I'm
got
sorry.
one fighter
If
left
you
in
didn't,
the game still, and if Stacey
shame on
Howard
you.
wins, he's got 2. But Dan Murrell and the Horsemen, and what I loved about that interview, as we saw that Mark Riley, his fellow teammate, has won the Ultimate Schmoedown teams. John Roca has won the Ultimate Prize in becoming the singles champion, and Dan Murrell
bunch
is there.
of
He said
winners.
to Roca, he's like, there is nothing more that I want to do than play you for the 3rd match at the Spectacular. They're competitors, they're warriors, and they want to do it, but he's got to get through Stacy Howard first.
I mean, look, they have all the hardware to prove it, but are they still on the top of the mountain here at the Schmoedown, or are they just like a bunch of old comics reminiscing in Las Vegas?
Well, we're about to find out. Are you ready to get going?
Oh, I am ready.
Well, here's the tail of the tape first.
Here we go.
Stacy
Shot our
Howard.
Waterloo.
You got Tim Burton movies as a strength. You got musicals as a strength, and dressing up scaring you and forgetting that she's actually Stacy Howard.
And having me FedEx articles of clothing, always happy to do so, Stacy.
And then you've got the former two-time champion of the world, Dangerous Dan Murrell. Spielberg
Being Dan
movies
Murrell.
are there. Oscar
I bet he's
movies
very
as
strong at that.
well. And just being Dan Murrell.
I was going to say being a junkie of the
Maybe I can
screen.
be Dan
Oh, I
Murrell.
like that.
You get it?
I like that. All right.
It's a thinker.
Are you ready to go?
Might have to
I am
shave
not
this
ready.
off.
Ladies and
So,
gentlemen, it's time for the
movie trivia Schmoedown. If it comes to
Good crowd
shaving
here.
off this and
Introducing
Nope.
first, representing the Viper Squad with a record of
music sounds
4 wins,
familiar.
2 defeats, and 1 knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sassy Stacy Howard.
Oh. Because it's Lana Day, Bulgarian holiday, holiday.
Her fingertips there, tough to grab a sip of water even.
And Jay Washington helping her out because she can't pick it up.
Well, at least
She
it's not
has
an
scissors on
ambrosia
it.
salad.
Ladies, man, that's a.
Yeah.
All right.
And Stacy.
What a getup that is. Clearly the iconic.
Wow.
Johnny
Happy
Depp
Lana
character
Day.
Jack
Man, that
Sparrow
seems like
with knives.
months
I'd like
ago.
to thank our makeup.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our makeup department
Aw,
for Jen
Jen.
Sturger for helping that out.
Jen.
Incredible
I was just talking
Edward
about Jen.
Scissorhands.
All right, so with that, and her opponent, representing the 5
Here
Horsemen.
comes the
With a
Doomsday
record
Machine
of
Star
7
Trek
wins,
copied
3
music.
defeats. He is the
Da da da
2016
da da
Player
da
of
da
the Year.
da
He is the reigning
Mr. Scott.
Screen Junkies Movie Fights
Mr.
champion and the
Scott.
former two-time movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, Dangerous Dan Murrell. All the horsemen are here.
Oh, here comes a goat. Random goat appears.
I haven't seen him in singles action since July, and there he is, Dan Murrell coming out once again, and he is with both Mark Goody Riley. Look at the champions, all 2-time champions right there.
That's
all 2-time champs.
Roca.
Champ is here.
Felt like it's his lover.
Yeah.
A champ is
and
here.
Here we go. Here you got Dan Murrell.
champ
and
is
champ
here.
Was there a handshake? Was there a handshake attempt?
it was a scissor shake.
Or not too hard. I might think someone's at the door.
There's a scissor shake. So there are the horsemen. And
You say a scissor shake like it's just a thing people do.
Scissor chick.
What's that?
55. You're 55, Jay. You have 7 kids. What are you?
All right, so
I'm out here having a nostalgia moment. You don't know who you are,
The
and we get
managers
shook real quick.
are having
What
an
is
issue.
this?
All right, look at Jay Washington. Jay.
What the hell going on around here?
All right, Jay. I'm gonna ask everybody to clear up.
Calm the F down.
Clear it up.
Managers are going to have to go back to wherever it is that they sleep, because now it is time for the actual movie trivia Schmoedown match between Dangerous Dan Murrell and Stacy Howard. It is a 3-round matchup. Round number 1 is going to feature 8 questions from 8 different corners of the movie trivia Schmoedown galaxy asked to the field. As soon as you hear a question, please write down your best attempt at an answer on the whiteboard. Stacy, hopefully you don't need any assistance writing it. Are you okay with the scissors?
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You have about
That was
15
far from
seconds, and
yes.
then when we say
Give me a
time's
blush.
up, please put your pens down. When we address you by name, show your best attempt at an answer that you wrote on the whiteboard to the camera. At the same time, you verbalize it into the microphone. 1 point per question. There's no penalty for
I did
missing
very
a
well
question.
last
There is no
match.
stealing
Let's
in
hope
round
I
number
can
1. I'll remind
ride
each
that
competitor
momentum
of
to at
your
least
3 usages
correct.
of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. You need to hear a question again. You need to buy yourself some time, maybe to write an answer down. Please use a JTE rule.
I'm still shocked I
And you
got the
each have
Surf
one
Ninjas
challenge
question
that you
correct.
can use at any time during
I didn't
the
even
3
think a
rounds.
movie like that
Alright,
would
and
even
with
appear
that-
as a question.
Dangerous Dan Murrell, are you ready?
Let's play the game.
Sassy Stacy Howard, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
Then let's
You
get
think
ready
so?
to Schmoedown!
Yay!
Said it before, said it again. Stacy Howard, one of the best in the game when it comes to the intro.
Oh, definitely. All right, here we go. Here is the first question in the realm of action-adventure.
Okay.
Who played Gail Hawthorne in The Hunger Games?
Oh, not a good start.
Were these the last books that you read?
No.
It's the most recent book you read. Non-Star Wars.
World War II. Fine.
You read a book called World War II?
The entire World War II. 3.
I don't think that's a real
Two.
book.
It's true. 1. My daughter wrote it. She's 7. Dan Murrell.
Liam Hemsworth.
That is correct. Stacy.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yes, indeed. 1-1.
And might I
He was
say,
in those movies.
exceptional handwriting
I
for someone with
forgot.
10
That's where he
scissors
made
on their
his
fingers.
name.
10
Movie
cents.
release dates. Movie release dates is the next category. And your question is, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker first joined forces in Rush Hour, which was released in what year?
97 or 90.
I love pronouncing words.
97.
4.
What?
3, 2, 1. Stacy Howard.
97?
It's incorrect.
1998.
That's correct.
Oh.
Dan Murrell.
So close.
Dan Murrell, 2-1.
1 year.
I would
Next
not
question
win
is from
against
Dramas.
Scott
Sorry,
Nance
count.
in a movie release
Dramas.
dates match, or Ben
Natalie
Bateman,
Portman
or
starred
Sam
opposite
Levine,
Clive Owen,
or any
Julia
of them.
Roberts, and Jude Law in this 2004 Mike Nichols film.
I like how you said the category there. Like you're a beleaguered teacher in Ferris Bueller. Dramas.
5,
Dram.
4, 3,
Don't know.
2.
I don't know my
1.
drams.
And Dan Murrell.
Closer.
Yes, sir. Stacy.
Closer.
Yep. Okay. 3-2.
It is closer. Move on to animated movies. These are animated movies, films featuring animation. Your question is,
Oh, okay.
George Takei makes a cameo in what Walt Disney animated film? You wanna,
Oh my.
thank you. Just the, oh my.
5,
We can go ahead and
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Atlantis.
Stacy Howard.
I didn't have it.
All right. And Dan.
Mulan.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Man!
duh.
It is. That's
That
4
makes
points for the
sense.
dangerous
The
one.
ancestors, I
All
forgot.
right. That's true. Next question is from Fantasy Sci-Fi.
Crap.
Who played Hansel in 2013's Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters? AKA the Oscar winning. Just kidding.
Oh,
Yeah, that was good.
I think they're, weren't they talking about a sequel to this?
No, I hope not. 5,
They were for
4.
a while.
Is it Jeremy
3.
Renner?
2.
JT, please.
JT, who has the first one, okay. Who played Hansel in 2013's Hansel and Gretel Witch
I
Hunters?
think it is Jeremy Renner. But
It'd be funny
the
if every
better
time they asked for
looking
JT,
Jeremy
we'll have
Renner.
JT come out and entertain the crowd for
Or
15 seconds.
Jeremy,
5,
not Jeremy Renner.
4,
Who wants to
3,
be Jeremy Renner?
2, 1. And pens down, please. Dan Murrell.
Jeremy Renner.
Yes, sir. Stacey.
Renner.
Yep, 5-3.
Jeremy Renner. Keeping pace with Dan
Yay,
Murrell,
I got
5-3.
one.
And just to remind the competitors, if you need the JT rule, you just say repeat the question as well if you want.
Oh,
so, yeah. Okay, here we go.
I think you can certainly say JT.
Of course you can. I'm just saying if you want
I
to
just
say
like saying JTE's name.
That's fine.
It's like
'Cause
Beetlejuice.
he's
I
a
hope he'll
great guy.
you will. Hopefully not on a bird. All right, let's
Christian George.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your next category in the world of comedies. And your question is, what 1995 family comedy stars Damon Wayans and Michael Ironside?
I am so upset that I didn't talk to Michael Ironside about this.
How is
5.
Mr. Ironside?
Awesome.
Yeah.
4.
Top Gun
3.
stories?
Yes. 2, 1. Pens
Major
down.
Payne?
Stacey Howard.
I don't know this one.
Okay, Dan.
Is it Major Payne?
It is.
Oh, I was right.
6 points here.
Can I say how much I appreciate the commitment of Stacy Howard to still show us that she has no
Nothing.
answer?
Yeah.
I think
I have nothing. All right.
Thank you,
And I'm
Stacey.
proud
I've
of
done a
it.
lot. I've done-
I could do that a lot
Next
if I
question.
wanted to.
Horror /
Maybe I should
thriller.
do the Stacey Howard.
Who plays science journalist Veronica in 1986's The Fly?
Would you rather be turned into
5,
a fly or a bee?
4, B. 3. You get honey. I like
Sting.
honey. 2,
Oh.
1. Pens
I
down.
have nothing.
Dan Murrell.
Gina Davis?
Yes, it is. Stacey.
Gina Davis.
Okay, 7-4.
All right.
All right, so Dan Murrell has an opportunity here to get a perfect round should he answer this correctly.
That's right. He could really take an advantage. Stacey Howard gets this one right. I think it's a win because you're keeping pace with Dangerous Dan Murrell going into round 2. This is a Patreon question. Thanks to all our supporters of the movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon. Select which tier is right for you today if you've not already. This one is from Michael Campbell. No, it's not the guitar player from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, or it
Michael
might be.
Campbell.
Thank you, Michael
I know
Campbell,
who
for
you
all your
is.
support of the show. His category was the 2000s category. Both you and I lived through, and one of us dominated on the stand-up
It's the
circuit. Your question
2000s.
is, what Gus Van Sant movie takes place in the fictional Watt High School and chronicles events surrounding a school shooting?
Dan Murrell attempting a perfect round here. Stacey trying to keep track in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Stacy Howard.
Didn't get in time.
I have nothing.
And Dan for the perfect round.
Elephants.
Correct.
Wow.
Dan Murrell gets
That's
the
a
perfect
tough
round.
That is a
Never
tough
heard of
pull,
it
and
in
so
my
now
life.
Dan Murrell will have a question asked just to him. This is a bonus question that is just for Dan Murrell, although everybody at home can think the correct answer should they wish to.
And Dan, because it's only you, you do not have to write it down. You just say it. You still have 15 seconds to answer, and you have 2 JTE rules left. Here you go.
It's like Drag Me to Hell. It's very intimidating.
All right, Dan. This actor has won the most Academy Awards for Best Actor in a Motion Picture with 3.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
For 1 point. Dan Murrell.
The
Perfect round.
That would have been
can
my
also
first
act
guess.
a little bit, and
And
that
that
is Daniel
makes
Day-Lewis.
sense.
Dan Murrell taking a 5-point lead into round number 2.
Dan Murrell looking like the Dan Murrell of old here in the first round. He's got 9 points, and he goes into the second round. But, again, the wheel round can change everything. Round number 2. And, Mark, how does this work?
Well, you said wheel round, and never have you
Spin
been
the
more
wheel
accurate,
death.
Christian, because
Get
this is the
something you
wheel of
want.
fate, justice,
Hopefully.
and doom for one competitor. I will mention the 2 wheel slices for today's match were sponsored by 2 of our Schmoedown patrons. The sponsored wheel slices today are Judd Apatow movies and 2000s movies, and those are but 2 of the 12 possible options. This wheel includes spinner's choice and the dreaded opponent's choice. Once you settle on a category after spinning the wheel once or twice if you want to use your mulligan, you're going to hear 4 questions that are asked just to you. Each question is worth 2 points. However, if you want multiple choice, you're not sure of the answer, we'll give you 4 options, one of which is right. If you hit that one, you get 1 point. I will remind both Ms. Howard and Mr. Murrell, stealing is available in round number 2. Dan, you threw a perfect game and you got the bonus question. Are you feeling lucky? You want to step right up to the wheel, or do you want to defer to Edward Scissorhands?
I will defer.
All right, so Stacy's going to spin first. Stacy, please spin from the wheel, not the peg.
Look, if she can spin anything with those hands, I say you just let her do it.
That's a win.
Here we go. Don't grab the bag. All right. I think it was okay. I think it was okay.
All right.
All
I'd
right.
have snipped it.
Don't scold Edward Scissorhands. He's a shy boy.
All right.
All right. This it's going to pass it. Christian, this could be opponent's choice if it gets that far.
Movie
release dates. And look at the ugly mug on that.
Look at the horror.
She went the category.
Spin from the wheel, please. Spin from the wheel, not the peg.
Yeah, don't grab the peg. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Bingo.
Spinning away from movie release dates.
Now you
the
got it.
category that was Scott Manson's.
You can
Now
fly.
Ben
Now
Bateman's.
Ben Bateman's.
She didn't want movie release dates.
No,
She missed the rush hour question.
Coming around here. Coming
Although it was only by a year, so it looks like it's going to be directors.
Directors.
Okay.
Directors for Stacy Howard.
Directors.
Directors is going to be Stacy Howard as
Something
she
that
goes
no,
to try
I
to
don't know.
catch up with the 5-point deficit that she
I know
currently has.
that I don't
All right,
know.
Here you go.
Stacy Howard, you have spun directors with your second spin because movie release dates, who needs them? Your first question of 4. In Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful, who played Theodora, who became the Wicked Witch of the West?
Rachel Weisz.
That is incorrect for 2 points in the steal.
Mila Kunis.
It was
correct.
Mila Kunis, and that is a huge steal in round number 2 for Dangerous Dan Murrell. All right, Stacy, your next question. In the world of directing and directors, what is the name of the powerful Ava DuVernay documentary released in 2016?
Five.
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Fire at Sea, B, I Am Not Your Negro, C, The Eagle Huntress, or D, 13th?
13.
It is 13th,
I knew
so
that.
she
I
gets a
wasn't sure
point in
though.
round number 2.
Wasn't sure I knew it.
All right. Your next question, your penultimate one in this round. The 1994 film North, starring Elijah Wood and Bruce Willis, was directed by whom?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Rob Reiner, B, Roger Donaldson, C, Tim Burton, or D, Gary Marshall?
Gary Marshall.
B.
That is incorrect. Murrell, your options are Rob Reiner, Roger Donaldson, Tim Burton, or Gary Marshall.
Rob Reiner.
It is Rob Reiner, and that's another
No, it
steal
wasn't
for
Burton.
Dan
I pretty
Murrell.
much
He has a
gotten all
7-point
the movies
advantage
he
in
did.
Stacy Howard, but one question remains in round number 2. Stacy, your question. Which Kate Winslet film was directed by the Lord of the Rings' Peter Jackson?
heavenly creatures.
2 points for Stacy.
I was about to say that too.
2 points that might help
I was trying to remember the Seth MacFarlane
because now Dan's up
song
there
that
with
he
a
did at the
5-point lead, and he
Oscars
hasn't
where he
strung
talked
yet.
about
Now
all
he gets
the
a string. Now, Dan hasn't
Kate
had the best
Winslet
relationship
movies
with the
where
wheel
she
this season,
was
so we're going to see
This
what
tournament
happens.
has really been all about the relationships.
I guess this is pretty much her entire
Will the wheel be nice to Dan here? Will their relationship change
her
on this
entire
spin?
IMDb
We're going to find
page.
out.
Dan looking at it like
Kate
it's a son that
Winslet
disappointed him
in
somehow.
Heavenly
He
Creatures
did.
and
He spun
Jude
opponent's
and
choice
Hamlet
against
and
Guy. He spun
Titanic and
opponent's
the
choice
Reader.
at the live event.
No children.
Will
Whatever
Dan
you're
take
shooting
the
right
wheel's
now.
allowance away? It's coming around. Christian, this could be a spinner's choice situation.
Look at this. New releases.
Dan
New
Murrell.
releases. Dan's going to keep new
He's
releases.
going to keep it.
All right, so Dan's going to go.
He reviews all the new releases.
Your belts, huh? Us poor folks don't have them.
All right, new releases. All right, here we go. Dan, new releases.
Category new releases.
In Crazy
In the
Rich
1988
Asians,
film.
Before jetting off to Singapore with her wealthy boyfriend, Rachel Chu is shown to be a successful NYU professor in what field?
I'll go multiple choice.
Is it A, political science, B, psychology, C, economics, D, physics?
Economics.
For 1 point. That's correct.
1 point. That's
Economy.
13 to
It's
7.
Question
huge.
2, The Incredibles 2. What kind of animal does Jack Jack get into a backyard scuffle with?
A raccoon.
For 2 points. That is
2
correct.
points, and Christian, we
Rocket.
are rapidly approaching
Bunch of
knockout
jackasses
potential here.
sitting in a circle.
In Game Night, who plays Brooks? Jason Bateman's brother, who sets up the interactive role-playing mystery game.
Kyle Chandler.
For 2 points.
Uh-oh.
All right, so if Dan Murrell
This just
gets
turned into a
either
knockout
multiple
situation.
choice or the 2-pointer, he will win via KO with this question.
That's right. If he misses it or Stacy somehow gets a steal, we are going on to round 3.
Who directed the 2018 film Love, Simon?
Multiple
Don't
choice.
even know why I'm trying to think.
Is it A, Jason Reitman, B, Amy Heckerling, C, Greg Berlanti, D,
Greg
Rob
Berlanti.
Reiner?
Greg Berlanti.
And your winner by way of knockout, Dangerous Dan Murrell. Murrell's back.
Dan
and
Murrell
Stacy
takes it.
Howard.
It's a knockout.
Yeah, Dan hit his moments. Dan hit the moments, and Dan is now on top again. He is 8-3, going in, and listen to this, against Ethan Irwin. We have Murrell versus Irwin in round 2. Look out.
And I'm not the records guy. I leave that up to Frankie Stats up there in Cincinnati, wherever he lives. But Dan Murrell, 18 points just
In
in rounds
Cincy.
number 1 and 2 alone. That's
No
gotta
one
be
wants to live
approaching
in
record
Cincy.
stuff. What a match for him. It doesn't matter who his opponent was, I think, in this match. Dan Murrell, when he gets focused, when he gets locked in, he gets a category he likes, he is going to beat just about anybody else.
That's 2016
You got
Dan
100%.
Murrell that we just
You
watched.
got 100%
That- that is Dan Murrell focused. That is Dan Murrell hungry. That is a scary. That is a dangerous Dan Murrell.
He's a bad man, but for Stacy,
I knew it was coming.
She might have topped herself with the Edward Scissorhands walk in. It's a tough run. You get up there, you spin a category, it doesn't go your way. Having a couple steals really cost her in round number 2.
Yeah, look. She earned her spot in the tournament. She just happened. It didn't matter. This whole tournament's full of heavy hitters. I mean, everywhere you go, look at the round 1s that we've had so far. Look at the bracket now. Stare at the bracket because now we have our semifinals. On one side of the bracket, the Fife Club explodes as you have Classy Clark Wolf, co-owner of the team championship, going up against Mark the Android Andraco, and then the winner of that will face the winner of our next semifinal
All
match.
the winning players are on
Ethan
the
Irwin,
top.
big time himself, goes
Conspiracy.
up against the former two-time champion.
Couldn't you have at least
Dangerous
mixed it up a
Dan
little bit?
Murrell. What a tournament it is. One of these 4 people will be facing John Roca for the championship at the Spectacular.
That's right.
2 of the other
John
3 will
Roca
be
currently
competing
rubbing down one of his
at the
many horses in
Spectacular.
his stable, probably looking at a movie trivia book in his spare time and waiting for somebody to emerge from this chaos that we have. And what beautiful entropy it is. For more on the post-match and interview with the winner and the loser, we turn now to Jen Sturger.
What's up, movie trivia Schmoedown fans? Jen Sturger here with Stacy Howard and Shay Washington.
Sorry, it's very difficult.
Stacy is having trouble holding her own microphone because of the scissors.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
Oh, Stacy, you know, some days you play lights out, and then other days the wheel just takes. And I think today we can both agree was the latter.
Today was tough. It sucked. Sometimes the real is a real bitch, but it is what it is. I feel like I played well that first round. Just, you had to get through it. So
Absolutely.
it's Dan Murrell. Come on.
Speaking of which, what was that? Where was the dude who got his ass whooped like 2 months ago?
Where was weakling Dan?
Where was that little sniveling Murrell? Like, yo, why did he come back? That was the damn best of this game. Where was the little you can't beat me? Where the hell was that Murrell? Like, that's what we thought we was getting. What the like this was set up just bogusly. Nobody was like, damn, Murrell's coming back with a vengeance. God damn.
Right. So, obviously, spinning directors probably wasn't your strongest suit. I'm sure you would have rather had something like romantic comedies, potentially Meryl Streep. But I think what really hurt you in that second round, like you said, you hung the first round, was the steals.
Yeah.
The steals. But I will say this.
He gets to steal movies to see him for free. He should pay those people, okay?
Yeah, look at all the screeners he gets. I'm not industry. I can't get into all of those.
Everybody ain't privileged like Dan Murrell.
That's right.
God damn it.
The struggle is real.
It is real.
Yes.
Revolution.
Struggle is
Some
real.
of us
the
are
win
Poe.
is not.
No.
But I will say this: you played very aggressively today. You didn't go multiple choice a ton, and
Sharpened my skills today.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that you were like not leaving the points out there for Murrell.
No.
As you wanted to.
I mean, when it comes to that, just F it. Just guess. Just go for it. I don't want to lose the points on, a bunch of multiple choice every time. Just jump.
All right, Stacy. Well, I'm sorry that you're out of the tournament.
Look,
hopefully we'll see you hanging around
Stacy
here.
is here in spirit.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? The Viper Squad is back. We might have just took a small L, you know what I'm saying? Like a little L, not even a capital one. But, that's because Dan Murrell ain't supposed to be that goddamn Dan Murrell.
Listen, I got a lot of costumes on back order. Okay, so you guys get ready for next year.
I did a kneel
2019
prayer.
is going to be lit.
Yeah.
Don't say that way again, please. All right. We're going to leave. We're going to leave.
All right. Bye, guys. Those are sharp. Please watch my eyes. Thanks.
Oh. By the way, that Murrell that showed up, that is a good Murrell. That is a dangerous Dan Murrell, not a cowardly, pretty much neuter Dan Murrell. But that Dan Murrell now has to go up against big-time Ethan Irwin, and I cannot wait for that. I want to see how dangerous will he be against somebody who is just as good, if not better than him. You get what I'm saying?
We could be in for a match of the ages. And we're back with Dan Murrell and the Horsemen. Dan, I would say welcome back, but I think you made your presence known today.
I mean, I didn't go anywhere. I've said it before. It's the luck of the wheel. You get questions that you know or you don't. I was lucky to spin a category that I felt pretty strongly in, and any given day, I came out on the right side of it today. That should not take away from Stacy. Stacy is a dangerous competitor. We've seen her pull off upsets in this game before. It very well could have happened today. So I'm just excited to move on and see who's next.
Yeah, but let's be clear. You played lights out in the first round. Obviously, round two, you didn't even have to finish. And you took steals, which were awesome. So this was a completely different Dan Murrell than we saw last time. And I'm really glad to see him back and that energy back that this league has missed.
Well, I mean, I've been waiting 23 years to make it worth having seen Major Pain in theaters, so it's good for that to finally pay off. That's great. That's good. It's kind of like like a flashback to the tapestry of my life. Now Major Pain has fallen into place.
Who knew?
Who knew? But yeah, no, it's. I'm out there, I'm having fun, and that's what the game is, and I think I sort of let it not be so fun for me for a while, and it's a good time. I just like to do it, and win or lose, I just want to go out and have fun, and I had a great time today, and I'm hoping to have a great time in the next round.
Absolutely. Speaking of the next round, obviously you're going to face Ethan Irwin, who I'm not sure if you have been paying attention, but he's really come into this league and made a name for himself. Oh, hi, I know this person. Awkward as always.
I like her. She's really good. She's really good.
She's cool.
But he's really come into this league and made a name for himself. So is it hard to not look ahead to next week, and start preparing for it?
I mean, Ethan Irwin followed me into retirement. I was retired, and people were trying to scare me with Ethan Irwin. And I've seen a lot of his matches, and he knows his stuff. This is not going to be this next round is not going to be a case of who misses the most.
He would have been here to crash your interview, but he said he had to go back to the WB. So
yeah. There you go.
True story.
I think that he is a beast. Anyone beating him, that is quite a task, and it's going to take a lot of luck and a lot of strategizing and a lot of studying and a lot of preparation, because that is a scary opponent, tournament or no tournament.
Speaking of scary opponents, one of them may or may not be standing next to me on the other side. Obviously, that is the goal, to win the tournament and to be able to face John Roca for the belt. Is that at all going to be weird for you, considering this newfound chemistry that you guys have within the Horsemen?
I mean, listen, it won't be the first rodeo for me and John. We've faced each other
he's got
for
the
belt
hat
twice before. He's got the hat. He's a cowboy. He knows what he's doing. It would almost be sort of a fun way to cap off a comeback, coming back this year. It's sort of end the season the way I in a lot of ways began a lot of my runs. So, but I'm not really that concerned about it right now. That's 2 games ahead of me, and looking at who's left in this tournament, there's not one person left to overlook or to take for granted. Obviously, I like the look of that belt. Obviously, I'd like to have that belt on my shoulder. If I got to play John, I got to play John. But right now, I'm glad to have him on my side for the rest of this tournament. What happens after that, we'll see how that shakes out.
Whew, wouldn't that be poetic? Well, Dan, best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. I got to go research. I got to study.
Good luck on that.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
See how easy it is when a manager doesn't talk? Yeah.
Well, look, Dan's excited, Stacy, and Jay said it himself too. You know, it was a good match. Dan looked good, and then I thought it was funny when Jay said, "Well, where was the guy that played a couple months ago? That's the Dan that played 2 years ago." But this to me is that's a scary Dan Murrell to be in the tournament. Now, if I'm Ethan Irwin, you better be getting ready here, because Dan's coming for that championship. Dan wants, he said it as much in his interview, he wants to play Roca for the title, and I like the respect that they both had for one another, and Roca's like, win this tournament, dude. Let's do it again. Let's do number 3.
Yeah, and as an incredibly talented basketball player myself, I think that I can give Dan Murrell high praise by saying he might be the Steph Curry of this league, where once he gets hot, once he starts feeling it, it's unstoppable from any place on the court. Stacy Howard, a great post-game interview, her and Jay Washington. I look forward to their future, but for 2018, it's going to be Dan Murrell's, and he might have a big shiny belt at the end of the whole thing.
We're going to see. John Roca might have a lot to say about that, but how much fun would it be should they meet again? We're going to find out. But thank you guys for joining us today. Once again, patrons, please go ahead, and if you haven't signed up, please do so today. Patreon.com/Schmoedown. We are trying to grow the league each and every day.
Fertilize
you guys,
it. Help us.
You are the ones to do.
I know my deal, fertilizer.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember that season 6 begins in New York. You want to be a part of it? Buy a ticket. That's right. Just go to schmoedownlive.com. Get your ticket in January for the season. You'll be there. No, you're good. You're good. But everyone else, please buy a ticket. Check it out. Come see us on the East Coast. For Mark Ellis.
Yes.
I'm Christian Harloff.
Almost forgot his name.
Catch you next time.
And your new movie trivia Schmoedown champions, who's the fucking boss?
Yeah, Tom, it's not gonna go like that. It's gonna go a little more like, and still, movie trivia Schmoedown champions of the world, the Shire Wolves.
Have you ever called a match before?
Yeah, I have actually multiple times. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyway.
Cool.
Are you thinking that you're going to be manager of the year?
I think I'm basically a shoo-in for manager of the year.
Did you see what we did to all those Nimrod teams in the Anarchy?
Okay, the Anarchy, that's one thing, Tom. Tom, you abandoned
The Harris brothers didn't even make it to the second round. They didn't even get to spin the wheel, I don't think.
Okay, but you also abandoned your faction earlier this year, so I mean, manager of the year usually probably supports the people that they are managing, regardless of whether or not they are kicking ass in the Schmoedown.
I won 5 years in a row.
Yeah, but you're a thing of the past,
What
Tom.
are you two doing?
Oh, no.
You do realize this isn't even the Schmoedown set. The set's over there.
Listen,
these mics aren't even plugged in.
Tom sat here first, so I just...
Whatever.
Take the mask off, Kalinowski.
You guys are so mean. I just don't understand. I put both of you in the manager bowl last year. That's how you became a manager. You came and asked me to join, and I said sure, and now you're in the Fight Club, and you have the champions.
Yeah, and I thank you for that.
And that's great. But every time I turn around, you're insulting me. You're throwing me under the bus. You're saying that everything is hooked. You're signing this thing that Brienne put together and threatening my position. I'm just trying to make the spectacular perfect.
Okay. Listen, I don't want to take words out of Tom's mouth or anything, but you've been exhibiting kind of a lot of loser behavior. So
yeah, I mean that's the truth.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm doing my best with what I've been given. And I just wanted to let you both know that last year we did the Manager Bowl, and you won. You became a manager and a very good one at that.
Thank you.
And you've done okay too, Tom. But this year we're gonna put the commissionership on the line. So Christian and I are going to finally battle, and the winner gets to be the commissioner. It's going to be fun. But I can't do it alone. So Tom? No. Mike's doing his own. It's fine.
If he's blackmailing you, you can just tell us.
I'm my own person.
Where are the strings?
There are no strings. I have no strings to hold me up. You are going to be in the Commissioner Bowl with Christian and I.
Oh boy. Okay.
So you have a chance. But
that's fair.
Can you do it too?
Me?
Yeah. I don't want Tom to.
Yeah. I mean, listen. If Tom's playing, then I'm playing.
Okay. Then the four of us will be in the Commissioner Bowl, and the winner gets the commissionership. Okay? Harloff is in it, and
that guy's sexist.
Yeah. So it'll be the four of us, and then we'll put all this behind us, and 2019 will be perfect, and no one will boycott the spectacular, right? Right? Please.
I mean, as managers,
Maybe.
we will do what it is our duty to do, which
Best
is
for
check in
business.
with our players regarding this and make sure that our stables are all on the same page. But that's
I can't guarantee.
Yeah, it's gonna be a maybe for me.
The mic. Why are you still talking to them? It's not plugged in.
And
No.
And still.
And Josh Bakuga, Sports Jeopardy.
What's up, Schmoedown fans? Frank here, and it is time for your Schmoedown breakdown. Final match of the first round of the tournament.
Intense.
Both Dan and Stacy were coming off a loss in the singles league.
A brand new
into the
intro.
First round action. Dan sprints out to a 5-point lead, and that's all thanks to a perfect round, including the bonus. This is the second time Dan has gone 8 for 8, but the first time he's earned the bonus point as well. As for Stacy, this was her worst performance in the first round this season. She was averaging nearly 6 points previously. With the lead, Dan defers to Stacy, and she at first spins away from release dates, only to ultimately land on directors. Now this is in fact the third straight match in which she has been stuck with this category. And if we take it a step further, in her 4 matches this season, she has spun the wheel 7 times and landed on the director's slice 4 times. Now, despite having plenty of experience in this category, she gets 2 of 4 questions for 3 points, and to make matters worse, Dan stole 2 questions for 3 points. With Dan's turn, he lands on new releases, and with his 5-point lead already, he goes 4 for 4 for 6 points, and in the process, KOs Stacy Howard by a score of 18-7. Inside the numbers, it wasn't pretty for Stacy on this day.
100%.
She went 6 of 12, and today's KO, in fact, makes it her second straight KO in a tournament match. And now as we turn our attention to Dan Murrell, he went a perfect 15 of 15, which makes this his first perfect accurate match of his career. Not to mention, it's the third perfect accurate match in the Clatter era, and the second perfect accurate match this season. Dan Murrell joins the likes of William Bibbiani and Rachel Cushing
Rachel
as
had
the
one in
only
Inner Geekdom
players to
also.
do it. and win.
Gotcha.
I did not
Frankie.
bet enough points.
What? JTH!
Did I win?
Winner!
Did I win?
JTH is the winner! It's an upset! It's an upset!
I knew it!
Heavyweight
JTH!
did not have enough points. Mark Ellis is out of the tournament. Oh my God!
If you want to find out other stats about this match and from around the league, check out SD Rundown Stats on Twitter.
Yeah,
and
that
don't forget to
Rachel
check out
match.
the Schmoedown
She had
Rundown
100%
every
accuracy.
Saturday
It's the
on
third
Collider
one this
Podcast
year.
Network on YouTube and the Collider Factory podcast feed.
Unless he was just referring to the
This
singles
has been
division.
Schmoedown Breakdown.
Thank you, Frankie Stats Janish. I had to correct you on that one, Frankie. You'll probably never see it, so you'll probably never remember. So, yeah. Dan did okay. To Brad Gilmore, he did okay. 100%. That's kind of getting back into the thick of things. Like take these off now. Yeah, I was interested to see how he was going to fare. He did pretty good, I should say. Stacy, that was kind of a rough go. Obviously, when you're playing somebody that's getting every question right, it's hard to be able to keep up unless you're able to go punch for punch with them. So, yes, this epic encounter of Dan Murrell versus Ethan Irwin is now on. I'm going to guess it's going to take place next Friday, depending on how everything goes. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we have Mark Andreyko, Clark Wolf, Ethan Irwin, Dan Murrell. That's a fearsome foursome, to say the least. And all four of them are now are guaranteed at least one more singles match, even after their tournament runs are over. So that's a good slate of players to still be remaining in the singles division. So yeah, really looking forward to all these matches that are going to come. So that's going to do it for JTH Reacts to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. Like, comment, share, subscribe to their content and to mine as well if you so choose. Always watch their content first. It's the right thing to do. And follow all the important means of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. The Twitter page, the Facebook page, the Patreon page. And check out the new Movie Trivia Schmoedown website, triviasd.com, I believe is the website. But that's going to do it for JTH Reacts. And you can follow me on Twitter at WWEJTH1. Guess I should bring that up too. But this is JTH. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I bid you adieu.